Today, stocks come crashing down as we learn about Michael Burry's new big short. Now, they tell us today stocks are falling for reasons that go beyond AI jitters, and I do agree with that statement out there. We look at the fear and greed index, we are right back over into extreme fear. Now, the main question is this a time to buy, or should we be running for the exit doors? We look at how the indices fared across the board today. The Dow was down 251 points. The NASDAQ was down 486 points. S&P 500 down 80 points, with the Russell 2000 being down 4.25. Now, when we come over and look at advancing issues versus declining, overwhelmingly, it was to the downside. We had 69.9% of issues declining on the day. Now, as we come over and look at the sectors across the board, we can see we had a lot of sectors in the red, and not just in the red by a little bit. Notice the bullish sectors, which there was only 4 of them, consumer defensives, financials, healthcare, and real estate, was only in the green by a wee little bit. However, today we also learned that Michael Burry challenges the AI trade with the big short bets on NVIDIA and Palantir. Now, if we come over real quick, we take a look at the 13F filings, we can see the percent change in Palantir. He has increased 66.04% with puts. NVIDIA also increasing on puts 13.51%. Now, if we look at a chart of Palantir real quick, which is one of Michael Burry's big short bets, what do we see? Well, yesterday they had earnings coming out, and this is very telling. This is something we're talking about today on the live stream, but notice the earnings that came out. They had a surprise beat on earnings of 25.11%. Then we come over and look at the revenue, also beat with a surprise of 8.17%, but look at the massive gap that we had down today. Palantir actually closed down 8% on the session. And it's not just Palantir. If we come over real quick and we look at some of the other earnings that we had out this morning, we had Uber, Shopify. We come over and look at Uber. Uber had a massive gap down. Now, Uber did come back here just a little bit, but Uber still closed down nearly 5% on the session. We look at the earnings. They had a surprise beat of 350%. Then the revenue also beat with a surprise of 1.3%. But still, that was not enough to stop the massive gap lower. Then we come over and look at Shopify. Shopify, yikes, a big shooting star type of candle, but we got to be cautious with this because now the market has already been starting to come down, and then we get this type of candle. Shopify today was down almost 7% on the session. We come over, we look at earnings. Earnings surprise, 2.14%. We look at the revenues, surprise of 4.55% to the upside. So why are we seeing bullish earnings out there, but we're seeing stocks start to drop? Now, even if we come over and we take a look at Microsoft real quick and we zoom this out, could this be top number 1, top number 2? And let's not forget, it wasn't long ago when Microsoft also had earnings out where they had an earnings beat and a surprise to the upside of 12.49%, but we still see Microsoft under pressure. Now, this is problematic out here for the stock market, but you know what else is problematic out here? Even if you don't trade it, we come over and look at Bitcoin, basically the leader of crypto. What do we see? Bitcoin breaking down today. Bitcoin intraday violated the 100,000 price point. And look what we have right down below us. We have an ABC target at 93,566. This is also something we talked about today on the live stream. Now, this is a warning. Could this be signaling that now we're starting to see things really shift dramatically? And what I mean by this is, our traders saying, maybe we've been too risky for too long because the AI train seems to have left the station and is now coming back down to reality. Look at NVIDIA, the king of AI. We can see today down 4.03%. And look, we have a little mini double top number 1, top number 2. So let me know in the comment section down below. Do you think Michael Burry is right about by shorting Palantir and also NVIDIA, or do you guys think he's going to get run over? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Now, let's not forget also, when we come over and we look at earnings out here, we have more earnings after the bell. We have AMD coming out, SMCI, and if we come over and look at AMD real quick, we see AMD after hours coming down a little bit. I don't know that the earnings have been released yet. Yeah, AMD earnings are not out just yet. However, we're going to see, will AMD buck the trend of what we've seen with some of the other high flyers out there and actually start to rally on the way back up? Now, when we come over and we take a look at the VIX real quick, the volatility index today, the VIX was up 10.55%. Now, the VIX did not close at session highs. We woke up this morning, we saw the VIX had a massive gap on the way up. The VIX came down, did not completely fill the gap, and then, started to try to rally up a little bit this afternoon. Now, this is going to be problematic. If you're looking for continuation in the market, we got to be mindful about the 10% rule with the volatility index. Whenever the VIX is up more than 10%, it signifies that the next 1 to 2 days, highly probable will be an update in the market. And keep in mind, tomorrow we have the Supreme Court hearing the oral arguments about the Trump tariffs. Now, also, if we look at the economic calendar, we've been lacking labor data. We got zero NFP data coming out last month. We're not going to get none this month, and we have really been missing the weekly jobless claim. So this could be important tomorrow. What does the ADP number actually show? Is it going to show that maybe, just maybe, the labor market's not as bad as a lot of people may have feared? We come over real quick and take a look at the SPY right here on the daily chart. Well, we zoom this up, we can see we tried to spike up, try to make a run to fill the gap. Not quite so fast. Now, if we go ahead and pull a Fibonacci retracement from the swing low right up here to the swing high, notice this is right near the 38% retracement. And on the daily chart, notice the MACD indicator is just now getting ready to cross back to the downside. That is a bearish sign out there. On the 4-hour chart, you can see that gap that we left behind today did not come back and get filled. MACD indicator already crossed to the downside. Bearish cross, and we're working our way down towards the zero line. Now, one area I do want to focus on is going to be down here about 671.86. That's going to be a high volume area. Also, that's right near the 50% Fibonacci retracement level. Now, when we come over and look at the gamma exposure real quick on the SPY, notice we have a lot of gamma exposure right around that 675 price point. And if we look at 675, we are right there at 675. So this could be critical, because if we start breaking below that level, that could really open up the floodgates to see the markets really start to drastically fall lower, maybe come down towards the first target, 671, or maybe even coming all the way down here towards the 61.8 Fibonacci level at about 667.14. Now we come over and look at the 30-minute volume profiles real quick. Here's that large gap that we had out here from today. Now, if I look at today's volume profile, I'm going to classify this as a lowercase b as in boy. And with this, it doesn't necessarily signal bullish or bearish, but there are some key takeaways. For instance, if we start trading above value area high, watch out, we're likely going to explore the upper third of the range. Now, the first area I look for would be about 678.16. Then right up here towards gap resistance, which is going to be right around the high of today, about 679.96. Anything above that, I really want to start to push and see, can we make a run to new all-time highs? Now, I want to let you guys know right now, my funded futures, you can get started for only $59 with a 50K Core Flex add-on plan. Take advantage of this offer. Use the link in the description box down below. Use promo code Mike at checkout. Now, when we come over and look at the futures markets real quick, we start off looking at the 4-hour chart. Now, today, we were finally able to go ahead and take out that untested point of control from 2 weeks ago. So once again, that rule has come in play. Check mark, it has been filled. Now the question is, will we be able to continue down lower, taking out that weekly point of control? Right now, you can see we are clearly below last week's value area low. So from a higher time frame perspective, the bears are starting to take control of this market. Then we dive down, we start looking at the daily profiles on the 30-minute chart. And what do we have? We have that B-shaped profile. But today, if you guys were on the live stream, look exactly where the market came right up to. We called that well in advance. Then the market rejected right back down. Now the question is, as we're closing right near the point of control, can we break value area low? If we break value area low, I want to look for the market to come back, retest the low from today. Now, value area low comes in at a price point of 67.96.5. In the event that we run up and we take out value area high, which will be at 6826.50, then I want to look for the market to return back towards the New York session high. Anything above and beyond that, see if we can start pushing towards the point of control from the prior day, 68.85, and then potentially beyond. But keep in mind, we start breaking that low, that's where my attentions are going to start to turn down towards this untested point of control, 67.74, and then we'll see if we make it down towards some of these other high volume nodes as well. Now we come over and look at the QQQs today, gap on the way down, and basically coming right down to the 38% retracement. Now we got to be careful. Does the market start to bounce right here? Look at the MACD indicator. It looks like it wants to cross to the downside. And then when we come over and start looking at the 30-minute chart, notice today we basically gapped down, we came up a little bit, and then we just kept grinding down the remainder of the day. However, the MACD indicator is below the zero line. If we see this start to firm up, we want to be very careful, because do we simply go into a consolidation down here? The MACD indicator gets towards the zero line. If so, when we're still consolidating down here at the lower prices, that could be nothing more than a recharge point for another leg lower in this market. Now, before we come over and look at gold, let's take a look at the NASDAQ futures real quick. And notice today, the NASDAQ futures has now been able to get past gap support. However, not quite down here enough to fill in the entire gap, which comes in at 25,510. Below that, we do have the point of control at 25,312, and we still have that untested value area high that has not been tested. So this is going to be a critical level that I do want to focus on if indeed we can get below the daily value area low. Now, as we come over and look at the daily volume profile levels real quick, notice we are closing below value area low, and we do have a point of control just below us at 25,013 and a quarter. So as long as we are below value area low at 25,592.75, I want to go ahead and push towards this untested point of control. Anything below that price point, that's where I really want to turn my attentions to. One, see, can we fill the gap from 2 weeks ago, then test value area high, and then that point of control. If that point of control gives way, then really the next stop is the next high volume area at about 24,861. Now, when we come over real quick and we take a look at the dollar index was on the move up today. We can see over here on the daily chart, nice bullish move on the way up. But now we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive up days in a row, and it's going to be critical. Can we break and hold above this zone right here? I'm basically going to mark that off by candle wick to the candle body. Right now, we're at the top of the zone, but can we go ahead and blast out of that area? Now, with the dollar index going up, we would expect gold to come down, and absolutely, gold is starting to break down. Now, on the live stream, we've been monitoring gold, and we've been talking about this pattern on the 4-hour chart, which gives gold a price completion much lower, right around the 3,800 price point. Now, in this example, notice we're really unable to get back above this area. We came back to the structure breakdown point, and we really just could not push above it. So now it looks like the market wants to come back down towards the low at 39.02-ish. We start breaking that. Then I think that's going to open the door to that price point down here around 3,800. Now, if you guys like to learn about my fund and futures new payout rule update, make sure to watch this next video right here.